Alright guys, so I've been quietly, kind of biding my time, waiting for the next big shipment of stuff for Fantasy Flight Games. We're looking at Star Wars Edge of the Empire, the role-playing game. That's the beta. You can hear us talking about that on an earlier episode of Star Wars Beyond the Films. This is the Star Wars Dice app. We'll be talking about that in another video production sometime in the near future, but I thought I would provide you... Oh, please, Vader, shut up. I would provide you with a quick unboxing, as it's called, of the Star Wars X-Wing game. Now, granted, this particular package does not have the dice in it. From what I understand, the dice themselves wound up being somewhat delayed, and because of that, I did all my pre-orders through a place called Miniature Market. Great place, great discounts on these materials, fast shipping and everything, but the trick to it was the fact that they... Aside from the fact that you pay for the pre-orders up front with PayPal and such, you actually wind up in a situation where they don't ship it till everything is ready. So since those dice were delayed, I had to cancel the dice, otherwise the entire freaking thing would have been delayed. But amongst the many, many, many packing peanuts, or as Shadow Era fans know them, counters, kind of an inside joke with Shadow Era because of how freaking long it's taking for the other pre-order bonuses to come out, we have the TIE Advanced. Notice about comparing to the size of my hand. We'll compare it to the size of the RPG book here, fairly short. Compared to the size of the iPad there. That's the iPad inside, just a case. Cool case, by the way. It's IP Evo is the name. IP EVO. I'm not sure how to say it, but it's a Bluetooth case, sort of built into the case itself. Anyway. So this is the TIE Advanced, of course, the thing that we, of course, saw Darth Vader flying in A New Hope, sometimes referred to as the TIE Advanced by 1, X1, or times 1, whatever. Here we have the TIE Fighter, right? The TIE Fighter expansion pack, because the TIE Fighter does come with the original set, actually the starter set. We also, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in here. We have the X-Wing, again, X-Wing expansion pack. Like drop it back in there, because X-Wing does come with the initial game. So expansion pack, we'll look at the interior contents here in a different video. And here we have the other one that's out right now, which is, get off, which is the Y-Wing. Here, of course, A New Hope and otherwise. These are all expansions, though, basically. So these are essentially one extra ship plus some extra cards, so you can play the game with more than just the initial set. Now, the initial set itself is buried further in here. It's a little bit bigger. And that is this. Get that reflection out there for you. Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game. You can sort of see me in the reflection there, just getting off work. And behind it, part of the Star Wars library, so to speak. Yes, that's all Star Wars books and videos and games and stuff. My comics there in the middle, the comic pack. But okay, so this is the initial game. Comes with, as you can see there, 2 TIE Fighters plus 1 X-Wing. And you might say, well, wait a second, how does that work? Does that mean that I need to have that expansion pack with the X-Wing, otherwise I won't be able to play 2-on-2? Yes and no. Yeah, you won't be able to play 2-on-2 without 2 of each. Duh. However, the whole idea is this is based around the idea of points. Each of your individual squadrons, when you go into battle, is based on points, so that while you may have less than the other guy, in this case 1 X-Wing versus 2 TIE Fighters, you probably have more points invested in that X-Wing, so your X-Wing is more powerful individually than these two are separately, but together they wind up evening out that one. It sort of gets you into the mindset of not just an equal number, but an equal number of points as you put it together. We'll wind up looking at it a little bit more later. If you can hear the crunching, that is a cat eating apparently a styrofoam peanut. But this is what you have for the original release here of X-Wing. You have basically 4 expansion packs, with each expansion pack having cards plus a ship. The TIE Fighter is the TIE Fighter that shows up in the main game, except it has different cards with it. Same thing with the X-Wing. The 2 original ones you don't get in the starter set. That's going to be your Y-Wing, your TIE Advanced. You got the starter set itself with quite a bit of materials. I can flip it around so you can see it, if I can do it one-handed without dropping anything. You can have all your cards, all your interior gear. We're going to take a look at that in a different video a little bit later on. That's all the stuff you get in there. There are dice that are coming. If you don't have dice yet, I mean, there's dice in there with the set. If you want more dice and you don't want to wait, again, Fantasy Flight Games has put together a Star Wars dice app where you essentially roll. You can scoot through the dice and find the ones for this game. Pop a couple of those on there, and then roll them. Right, so you can roll as many as you need here without having to buy a whole bunch of extras. The dice themselves don't cost too much separately. It's just the fact that they weren't ready as of the time that everything else was, so anybody who has their pre-orders waiting on them are going to be waiting quite a while. If you did order through Miniature Market like I did, you can email them and just have them cancel just the dice. You'll get a refund, and the other stuff will ship out almost immediately, which is basically what happened with me. So again, this is Fantasy Flight Games, the exact same company that is responsible for the Edge of the Empire RPG that was mentioned on Star Wars Beyond the Films before. I have mentioned the app before, and had talked about the X-Wing game, but had not actually had a chance to play it myself other than seeing demos and such. So I will leave us to it right here with X-Wing, and we will take another look at this later on as the videos finally begin again for Star Wars Beyond the Films after a long hiatus. Thanks for listening, and I hope this unboxing has been useful to you in deciding what you might pick up for X-Wing.